2006 Saturn Vue is not working. I mean, it will work if you assist it, but it's not happy. So we're gonna tear this thing apart and show you how to fix it. Next you have to do is take this plastic cover off the inside to get to the wiper motor. So looks like there's a couple of Phillips screws there and there, and I think the rest of it's just going to be those plastic push-in pins. So we'll get at it. What I have here is a screwdriver and one of these trim tools you can buy. If not, you can develop something or use what you have. Alright, it looks like these top ones kind of nest into these pins here and the sides. Sorry, you can't see too well. And then there's two lights in the back here, so don't forget to unplug those. They'll remind you though, they'll be hanging on the wires like mine was. So anyway, here's the motor. Looks like a 10 millimeter socket to take these three out, a plug, and then on the back side there's this cover here, and I think, if I remember right, this is a 10 millimeter also. Nope, it's bigger. It's probably a 14, but we'll bring you back and show you how that comes apart. Alright, this ended up being a 13 millimeter, but if you got a worn out half-inch wrench like I do, it was just perfect. One thing of that though, sometimes these are a little problematic to get apart. If they're on a spline, I've got anti-seize on mine because I take it off and lube the blade, but sometimes these can really be hard to get off, so you might need to get a puller, maybe a battery, you got a battery terminal puller, or even a two pair of channel locks or vice grips channel locks on both sides, and you can put equal pressure and pop this off. So looks like that. And what we got underneath here? Hopefully just the boot. So what I did is I popped the electrical connector pins out of this back cover, because once you take this off, go along for the ride. So anyway, it's 3 or 4 Phillips head screws, and it takes this off. So what we're trying to do here is, where this shaft goes through here, is pop that out, clean it up, re-grease it, and put it back in. One thing to note, there is a small, if it'll focus or not, but there is a small retaining ring. Come on, you can do it. There is a small retaining ring on here that needs to be removed before you attempt to drive that thing out. What I was going to do is put the nut on the end, flush, put it in the vise, and tap that out, clean it up. So let's get that off. Alright, we got her under the old super magnifying glass here. So right here's that ring. See how I turn it there? I'll try to get that spread apart and slid over the end, get that thing off there. So all I did was I just kind of walked this thing up with a screwdriver, and until I got it to the top. And looks like there's another little retainer washer. Hang on, I'll get the screwdriver. You can see this little retainer washer, thrust washer on there too. So we'll get this apart and I'll show you what it looks like. Alrighty then. You know, it doesn't look that bad down inside, but on the end, come on, focus over me. Yeah, on the end right there, this dark spot right there, I think it gets corroded, probably from moisture leaking in through that rubber seal. So I'm going to clean this up and re-grease it and put it back in there, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, focus baby. we got this all cleaned up, polished. Throw some grease on it. Not sure what I'm going to use. I got some silicone grease. We got some regular just chassis grease. Probably some wheel bearing grease, something that's going to be kind of waterproof. And put it back in there, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's back together. Alright, this thing's back in there. One thing to note, do the old one-handed life here. One thing to note, there is a rubber O-ring that goes on the end here. This one fits kind of loose, so I might look around and see if I can find one that fits a little bit snugger. So that O-ring, this thrust washer, and then our teeny little retainer clip. And then of course the nut holds the wiper arm on. So one more thing to note here, taking this apart, all I did was I had the nut on there and I opened up my vise and used that for a press. And I pressed this out to the end, and then I put just the edge of it in there like that, and inside this jaw, and press. It came out pretty hard at first. I was surprised it was that tight, but that explains why it was stuck, I guess. So anyway, that's my little trick to getting this thing apart. So all I did was on this retainer ring is I got it started and used a 3/8 wrench, and it pushed right down until it clicked in. I did end up finding a new O-ring for this. If you need one, the part number is 568-012. That's kind of a standard O-ring type of universal part number, I think. It was just in my assortment I bought from probably Harbor Freight or something, but that's the number. Alright, there's a gasket. There's a gasket for this thing too, so if you take it apart, don't forget to make note of that so don't lose it. Alright, moment of truth here. Let's see if this thing will take off. Pardon me. Yay. Sorry for the jerky camera. Alright, one more time. We can put this thing to rest. It's intermittent only. There you go. Awesome. Alright, so that's how you fix a 2006 Saturn Vue Rear Wiper for $0 and not too much time, hopefully. Hopefully you didn't get too bored watching this mess. And if you like it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, that'd be great. Catch you on the next one.